Working, so yeah, we're on.
Right. Are we on YouTube as well?
Yes. Let's refresh. Yep, we're on.
How many viewers are we on?
One.
Oh, one viewer. Who is it?
It doesn't say. We'll give it a second. So let me we'll get started in a minute.
Yeah.
Give it a sec. Nope, they're on.
Right.
Evening from the Goose.
evening from the Goose, Birmingham Selly Oak. What a pub.
Right.
Let's crack on, shall
Yeah,
we?
we'll just get started.
So, welcome to this week's show. We're decked out in an Arsenal and Cov shirt. Well, he's in an Arsenal shirt, I'm in a Cov shirt, because we got very important games tonight, both sides. But we are going to come into them later. And the reason we're on Thursday is, let's just cut to the chase. We're going to the pub tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, well, it was planned. Well, how long's it been planned?
Quite a few months.
A long time. So.
A long time. But no. So yeah, we're a day earlier than usual, but I'm sure you won't mind. So let's just get straight into it. Last night, Manchester City showing their bottle in the Champions League for a change, and even after going 1-0 down, thoroughly deserved winners against Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, first off, just say what a goal by Jude Bellingham. Finally getting his goal after the week before. Probably not. Should have had the goal. But no, once they went 1-0 down, I think it was really a given from there. I've seen a lot of people saying that it's not a penalty because it's come off his head. I think if you're not giving that as handball, then what is handball?
It's as soon as Peter Walton said it wasn't a penalty. Dortmund should have started to worry, I think.
Yeah, for me, that was a definite penalty.
Yeah.
I know it's come off his head first, but if it doesn't hit his head, it's hitting his arm. So
yeah.
For me, but no, like you say, Phil Foden showing up. What a player he's going to be, and yeah, they made sort of.
So Foden's goal, are you calling it a brilliant strike or poor goalkeeping?
I think it's a bit of both. It's a good strike, not the best goalkeeping, but like you say, fantastic player, and Man City. Could it be their year? Well, hopefully not.
Well, then we'll go into another game, another one that was, the first two games we're going to talk about are the ones that I watched. I watched the full 90 of, and the other one was on Tuesday night. It was PSG versus Bayern, and again PSG, like Manchester City, they've been quite notorious for bottling it, should we say, in the Champions League, and despite losing, again they held their nerve. And they look like shivings for the final, really, don't they? Yeah,
well, I think I said the other week, didn't I? I thought the winner of that would go on to win the whole thing. I stick by it. I think they've got the front three playing the way they want to. Yeah. And the thing is, I can't really see out of the four left. Yeah, it's four. I think then the four left who's going to the three left that do them in and. No, they lost on the night. But how do you explain it? It's one of them ones they lost, drew, and won. Yeah. All on the same day. I've seen enough of them on bloody Facebook.
I know. It's but we'll move on. Real Madrid.
There's not much to say about it.
Defensive masterclass, really, wasn't it?
Especially the way that they have started getting into it recently. Liverpool really the front three. Yeah. Unfortunately against us, but no, brilliant from Real Madrid. I think to be honest, they're another one. They're looking good. To say how they started the season. Who was it they lost against? Was it Shakhtar? Was it?
Shakhtar was it
Shakhtar?
It was at home.
Yeah,
I had a bet on it.
And you think that's the start of the season, and now look at them. Is it Liverpool being poor? Or is it Real Madrid playing well?
Yeah, I think on another night, in
Fans,
in
we
different
said,
like we said, another night in different circumstances. I think the chances Liverpool had, they might have, you know, done one of their classic European comebacks, but I just think, you know, I think Real Madrid did very well what they had to do, which was nullify the game completely. And they soaked up the pressure and rode their luck a little bit at times, but they managed to get themselves through.
Yeah, but I mean, every winner in that sort of competition as well, they've got the fair share of luck.
Yeah, well, I think if you're going to go in and win a tournament, especially the Champions League, there is, you know, you do need a little bit of luck along the way.
Yeah, well, Man City have had it themselves, haven't they? So, I mean, yeah.
So, and then we'll talk Chelsea losing on the night to Porto. Not really much we can say other than Porto's goal was absolutely stunning. But I'm sure Chelsea won't mind one bit that they lost on the night. And
I mean the standard they got, it was so late on as well. It was really, it was a consolation, wasn't it? Really. So I mean, you don't get many consolation goals better than that, do you?
No, and we'll talk about the upcoming semi-final. So it's City versus, who is it?
Is it Real Madrid have got...
Real Madrid, Chelsea and City. See, I said PSG looked like shoo-ins for the final, but they've got to get past Man City.
No, I mean, the thing is, I mean, on paper, for me, it's PSG versus Real Madrid. But, I mean, the thing is, could it be another all-English final?
Yeah, well, it's happened.
Was it two in...
Recently.
That'd be 2 in 3 years, wouldn't it? I mean, I think the thing is, it's... I mean, the thing, there's always the chance, isn't there, really? I mean, like we've said, Real Madrid... I mean, you've backed Chelsea all along, really. I'll give you that. I mean, was that from the group stage?
As soon as 2 shall come in, really.
Yeah, so, I mean, I never thought I'd say it, but they do look quite good. I mean, I'm just praying that Real Madrid turn up.
But we talk about City PSG. Well, they've got, like we said, City and PSG have got this reputation for, you know, being quite notorious for throwing it away. And one of them, I know PSG were in the final last year, but and they didn't turn up. So one of them is going to be in that position.
It's tough. I mean, the thing is, over 2 legs, anything can happen. Really, that's what I think. The thing is, you watch City since. I can't remember who it was they played last year. Into last year, was it Leeds? I think it was Leeds. No, not in the Champions League. Yeah, and since then, but recently I know they lost to United, lost to Leeds. But Leeds were 10 men. Yeah. I mean,
I think that was just a bit of a freak game.
Yeah.
It was like a game of FIFA, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
You're all over the opposition, and then
Stuart Dallas goes for 90 whatever minute.
I think the word for that on the video game would be scripting.
But I mean, the thing is, like I say, last season, who would have said that? I mean, I'd have shut my ass on them beating Lyon.
Yeah.
I didn't think Lyon were a fantastic team, and Lyon proved us wrong. But a step further, is it the furthest they've got? It is.
No, they got to the semi-finals under Pellegrini. They played Barcelona.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. But joint furthest they've got. They never got to the final. No. So I mean, it's probably the best.
It's kind of unprecedented territory for Manchester City, really, isn't it?
I think the thing that I don't like about PSG is their back line. I like Marquinhos.
Yeah.
I think is he going to be playing? And
the thing is,
Kimpembe's.
Don't get me wrong, PSG have done very well, but with Lewandowski involved in at least one of them 2 ties, it's probably a completely different.
I mean, put it this
scenario.
Way. Eric Choupo-Moting scored 2 in 2 against him, and you'd have thought they'd know everything about him.
Yeah.
But
and then Real Madrid, Chelsea, no pushovers. I think that could be quite an intriguing game.
I think. Do you know what? I think that's more evenly matched than probably give it credit for.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think watching them against Liverpool in the first leg, I'll be honest, I didn't watch the second leg.
Yeah.
The Cruz long ball over the top to Vinicius is probably what they want to watch out for, especially when they've got players like Thiago Silva who've probably had better days.
Yeah.
They can probably. Well, they've got the chance to exploit it. Yeah, but I mean the thing is. I mean, Mount's been in brilliant form, and I think he's probably Chelsea's key player at the moment, isn't he? And, so that'll be an interesting. I think that'll probably be. I mean,
Which one are you going to watch?
PSG City. I like watching PSG. I haven't watched much of Real Madrid this season. I watched the Liverpool game. I watched the Shakhtar one because I think did they lose both or they lost and drew.
I'm pretty sure they lost. They didn't.
I don't think they beat them in either one.
Yeah.
Because I know they were. at one point they were looking like they were going to go out because it was
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah. But no, like I say, I'm stick the Man City PSG game. I think on paper it's probably going to be the better game. I mean, watch the Chelsea Porto game and I mean, I switched it over at half time. I couldn't watch any more of it. So
right, have we got any questions in?
Let's have a look. We've got a couple. We'll probably start his second pint soon. We've got. Let's have a look. Please bring Mike closer. Oh, no problems. It's all right. Peter Walton. Here we go. Would you rather Spurs win the league or Arsenal never win any trophy ever again? Oh, probably Spurs win the league. If never win a trophy again, it'd be boring.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it would be horrible, but
I think for the sake of your own club, if that was the scenario, surely you could handle Spurs winning the league once.
What, for the first time in 60 years? Yeah. Of course, yeah. Thoughts on Duluxgate? Do you know what we were on about this before? If no one's seen, I think the Dulux admin's probably got the sack after this morning with his.
He's definitely an Arsenal fan. Isn't he?
And that if you haven't seen it, go on Spurs' Twitter and have a look because that is that where they've photoshopped the Dulux dog on Doherty. I mean, that probably sums up the state of the club at this moment in time.
Anything else?
Not really, no. So we'll move on.
Right.
To the
to your big game tonight, Slavia Prague away. How you feeling?
Well, nervous. I think the thing is
this is literally do or die for Arsenal, isn't it?
Because it's do or die for both teams tonight.
If your season's effectively over if you lose this game.
Yeah, I, to be honest, I know this probably sounds a bit daft, but I'm not too. I think we could probably do with a season without Europe. I think it'd be embarrassing to lose, especially. I mean, with everything going on at Slavia Prague, I think most teams are probably behind us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after the ridiculous ban that he's got. I mean, 10 games.
Well, Kadela got was it 10 games?
10, but one of them he's already played.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's absolutely like mind-boggling, really. But the thing is, we've got to go there and score. They've got a good record at home in Europe this season and in the league, I think. So it's worrying, especially after the amount of chances we squandered the other night. But against Sheffield United, take it how you want. There were some good goals. That Lacazette first one, fantastic goal. Nice to see Martinelli score again. Bit of a confidence booster, I guess. We said needed to score 3 or 4. Got the 3, so it's all in the players' hands now. I think Lacazette's got a big part to play. He missed a couple of, to say a couple of good chances is probably an understatement. I mean, you've got to score them, but I mean, he bounced back, got 2 against Sheffield United. Let's see what he does tonight. Hopefully, bags a couple, and it'll make an easy night of it.
Yeah, and well, I think, like you said, the tension in this house, you're going to be able to cut it with a knife, really, aren't you? Because
do you know what? Well, should we go on to the Cov game now, and then we'll move on to the Championship later? Do you want to just
that's the plan. We're going to.
Is it? Is it?
So we've got. I hate the term and the phrase. I hate the term 6-pointer. It's one of my bugbears in football. I don't like it, but it's one of these rare occasions where I find it acceptable because this is your archetypical relegation scrap 6-pointer. Especially with Rotherham winning the other night. Because if we lose, we drop into the bottom 3 for the first time this season, mate.
Yeah.
And Rotherham will be above us on goal difference with 2 more games in hand, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Nail biting finish.
But then you flip the other side, and if we win, we go up to 18th, 6 points clear, and we go above about 3 different teams. It is
a 6-pointer.
Yeah, it is a 6-pointer. Like I say, but I think the term 6-pointer does get thrown around too often, if that makes sense. But this is a 6-pointer. It's not as far as season over if we lose.
No.
my God, if they do lose, they're going to make it very difficult for themselves, and if they win, they're going to make it a lot easier for themselves. But no, I can't say I'm looking forward to it, because, well, it's our away record versus...
I've seen this on Twitter. I find it weird that you, being frank, I know you hate the saying, but you technically play away.
Oh, no, we do.
And you can't... And your home record is so much better. I think
it's the 10th best home record in the league.
I mean, where do you train? Is it still in
Yeah,
Cov?
we still train in Cov.
So technically it is away, and you're still... I mean, it's weird how sort of the mind works, really.
31 points at St Andrews, 11 away from home this season.
Is that the worst in the league?
That's the worst in the league. But on the flip side, and this might balance things out, Rotherham have the worst home record in the league.
They're always the most boring games.
Yeah.
When it's the... So...
Do you know what?
I mean, would you take a draw? Is it a must win?
I'd say it's a must not lose.
I think definitely, yeah.
If we were to draw, I don't think it would be. I think it'd be I don't think either team would be satisfied with a point, if that makes sense.
But I think with them, they've got that many games in quick succession. They need to win.
They want to keep the confidence going, and for us, it's we're still free. It's pretty much as you were. But the thing that would make a point not anything to complain about is the fact that Huddersfield and Derby are within touching distance, and personally, I think Huddersfield need to look over their shoulders. I look at their running, and I struggle to see where the next win's going to come from. We've got Huddersfield penultimate game of the season as well. That could probably be their most winnable game on paper.
Yeah.
But no, we will see what happens tonight. I'm a little bit nervous because I really don't want to lose this game, but we'll see. Right, before we move on to the Premier League, we got any more questions in?
Yeah, let's have a look. We've got the classic Will the Soccer Saturday.
I don't even know what it is.
I haven't seen.
Let me try and get it up.
Just on a touch of that way, look for that. Do Sheffield Wednesday have any chance of survival?
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
We're moving on to it.
When we come on to the Championship.
Thoughts on Claude from AFTV passing away. Rest in peace, Claude. Nice touch.
Yeah, it was quite sad. He was Arsenal through and through, wasn't he? And
to be fair, to say half of them though,
I think he was the only one on there really that spoke any sense.
He did speak some sense sometimes, yeah.
The amount of money he ploughed into watching Arsenal, and the amount of he very rarely missed a game. I think he was entitled to a view, whether you agree with it or not.
Well, and I think he even openly said, didn't he? I would think it was like the only thing he had in his life. So bless him, it can't be easy getting it taken away.
No, especially like with this. I mean, I bet there's so many blokes in the same position as well who've their football's their only really real social aspect, and they've had it taken away from them for the past year. But no, that's a nice touch. Yeah. Right, we're gonna move on to Premier League.
Yeah, move on to Premier League.
Right, so tomorrow night, it's Everton versus Spurs. I think Spurs. I don't know what to make. It's Spurs. I think they're just typically they're one of them typical sides. They just want the season to end now, really, don't they?
Yeah, I think there's a few teams, especially in the North London area, that are wanting it to end now, really. Well, the Premier League, that is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the goal, they got so lucky against United, really. I mean, Son's gone down like he's been shot in the face.
Oh, sorry, I just got to add Rory the Boost's not out yet. The Soccer Saturday Boost is not out yet, so we can't answer that question. Carry on.
Issue with doing it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
But no, I think, I know there's a lot of Spurs fans who are calling for Mourinho's head at the minute. And
rightly so, do you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, the way that, I think he's lost it the other day, what he said, I've got Premier Leagues, not Premier League.
Yeah.
He's at it again, and I think he probably is coming to the end of his tether, really. The thing is as well, whether you believe the rumours or not, there's been a lot of speculation about Kane's future. I think if they lose Kane, I don't see where the goals come from. The only thing is the money. Vinny goal. The only thing is though, obviously it happened with Bale.
Yeah.
Are they going to invest it wisely, or is it going to be another case of...
This is if Kane goes.
Yeah, this is, if Kane goes. Personally, I can't see him going.
I don't think he'll go. Because I think I've heard this mentioned a few times. I think it's spot on. I think if you're going to spend that much money on a 28-year-old, I don't see why another team just wouldn't go and sign Haaland, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I mean, how many years has he got left on his contract? Is it 2?
Kane?
Yeah.
can't say I'm.
Yeah, I don't
certain.
think it's too. I just think, you know, he's got the perfect chance to go to somewhere like Real Madrid. I know Benzema's still banging him in, but I mean, what's he now? 33, something like that. You know,
but whilst Benzema's still bagging him in, he's not going to go and play second fiddle to him, is he? And I don't think they can accommodate him both.
No, but I mean, realistically, would you rather have Kane or Benzema? I mean, you know what Real Madrid are like.
Do you know what? In fairness to Benzema, and this is no way trying to disparage Kane, but it's probably a close call this season.
Yeah, but I just think that the way that Kane sort of is overall.
I think Kane would fit Real Madrid like a glove.
Yeah.
But let's just, on the flip side, go to Everton. If they win, they go above Spurs into 7th place. I'd probably go as far as saying for Everton's European aspirations that this is probably must win.
For
Everton.
I was distracted because my mum's put "Come on, you toffees," so I'm gathering that me dad's taken the phone off my mum again. But yeah, it must win for. I mean, Everton. I mean, it's probably not talked about what's happened to their season. I mean, they've had a few.
It's kind of peak.
Rough.
Well, they haven't won in
Brighton.
They haven't won in 4.
Yeah.
And they lost to Chelsea, lost at home to Burnley,
yeah.
Lost to Palace, and lost to drew with Palace and drew to Brighton.
Yeah, and I mean the Brighton game apparently was nothing to scream about. I mean I watched the highlights and I think it was less than a minute long.
Yeah.
So it's just the thing is that they seem to have a few good results and everyone seems to sort of overhype them, and then they just don't turn up against like the lower sides. I mean, in all fairness, Brighton probably fancied themselves.
Yeah.
In that game. But no, it's just one of those. I think. I mean, how many points are they off European places now?
I don't even know how it works. So where does Europa League go down to?
It all depends on whether an English side win the Champions. So if Chelsea won the Champions League but didn't finish in Champions League spots, and if we won the Europa League, who wins the FA Cup? Yeah. So fifth, 6th, and dependent, it's sometimes 7th.
I mean, looking at who's left in the FA Cup, it's probably going to be 7th.
Yeah.
So, a win would put Everton into 7th.
Yeah. So, I mean...
But a win would take Tottenham 4 clear. I'd say this is must win for Everton, personally.
Yeah, but I think it's one of them must win for both. But the thing is, I think
Tottenham would happily do away with the Europa League.
Yeah, well,
I don't think Everton would. I think they'd love to be in it.
The thing is, though, I just think Everton in Europe, the squad depth is nowhere near sort of the likes of something. Well, to compete in Europe, really. Yeah. I mean, look at what it's done to teams, and personally, I couldn't see them lasting out in Europe. But
they were in it a few years ago and they knocked out the group stage.
Yeah, I mean, back to the actual game prediction. I can see it being a board draw. 1-1, I'm going to go for.
I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton. Yeah. Because against the big side, I think they are going to turn up.
The beat was opening day season they won, didn't they?
Yeah, and in the FA Cup it was something ridiculous.
5-4. Yeah.
So I think Everton are going to get their 3rd win of the season against Tottenham. Next game, Saturday 12:30. A team who got two teams who got very big wins in terms of their season last week. Newcastle versus West Ham.
Do you know that is? I think it's going to be a good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, realistically, both. I mean, Newcastle probably a little bit more pressure lifted off their shoulders, but I mean, West Ham probably feeling like they can go for the Champions League now. I mean, they're 2 points behind Leicester, I think, and I mean the way Leicester are going, few missing because of COVID.
Yeah.
So they're pretty fancy the chances, but I think Newcastle as well.
And with Chelsea not playing this weekend as well in the league, this can put West Ham 4 points clear of Chelsea, and Chelsea have got to go to the London Stadium in a couple of weeks.
And I mean, this season, I mean, to be honest, it's not the easy place to go anyway. But,
no.
Do you know what? I think that I don't know what to predict for that one. I feel like West Ham can't.
But I think with Alan St Maximin on the pitch,
I think
Newcastle have always got a chance for a result.
Do you know what?
For how poor I think they've been this season, he is a player who shouldn't be playing at that.
Yeah.
In that team.
No.
He's ridiculous, and like I say, I think Newcastle have always got a chance on the break whilst he's on the pitch, and I think they're going to nick a point. I'm going to go 1-1.
Do you know what? I think the thing is, I can't see West Ham. They've got to have the due a loss, surely.
I did say last week, by the way, about West Ham Leicester. West Ham to win and Lingard to score again.
You did, yeah. I think I said draw, actually.
Yeah.
You know? I want to go, do you know what, a bit of a bold one. I want to 3-1 to Newcastle.
Oh.
I just think...
The last time you predicted Newcastle to win out of the blue, they did.
Against Everton, yeah. And it was Wilson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I've got a good feeling about it.
Next is a game that I'm probably going to just not bother watching because it doesn't really sound a classic. I'm going to need Wolves versus Sheffield United. There's not really much to say.
There's nothing to play for, really, is there?
I think Sheffield United, if Newcastle were to win and they were to lose again, that is pretty much... I know it's...
Not mathematically.
Not mathematically, but I think they'd have to hope Newcastle lose every game. And
about 3 or 4-0 and they win every game 3 or 4-0.
So I think this is essentially going to be Sheffield United's last day of execution in the Premier League, because I think they're going to lose again, and I can't see it being a classic. I'm just going to go 1-0 Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick Wolves. I just said 1-0. I'm going to say 2-0. To be honest with you, there's not really much to say other than, I mean, the way that Adama Traore's come into the last couple of games, maybe starting to pick up a few sort of goals, assists.
But yeah, I can't look past the Wolves win here.
No.
So next game, talk about Arsenal again here, at home to Fulham. You should be winning this one, really, shouldn't you?
Yeah, there's not much to say about it, really. I mean, the first game of the season, I thought Fulham looked awful.
Yeah.
So I think it will be sort of playing a completely different Fulham side from the one that was in on the opening day of the season. I mean, Willian got 3 assists. I think that sort of sums it up. But the thing is, they've got sort of the advantage, you know, that flying out to Czech Republic on the Thursday, I can't imagine... I don't know how it all works with COVID. Are they going to come home Thursday night, come Friday morning, there'll be a bit of jet lag? I don't think it's going to be as easy sort of as it seems on paper.
Do you not think that though last week's results, Fulham losing, Newcastle winning, has kind of just knocked the stuffing out of Fulham a little bit though?
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably not... They might be fancying themselves. I mean, like I say, we don't know what's happening tonight. We go there and get knocked out of Europe.
So we probably get extra time as well.
Well, yeah, you know, going to extra time... It goes like the Olympiacos game, last minute.
Yeah.
You know, the players will be down, and Fulham will probably be there again, thinking, well, we've got another chance here.
I mean, a lot of how Fulham's mentality could actually hinge on the Newcastle West Ham game, because if Newcastle win that and then 9 points,
I think then it's better. I mean, you can't say it's over till it's over, can you?
But if Newcastle were to go 9 points clear of Fulham before Fulham have kicked a ball. My God, I don't care. In the dressing room, surely that's gonna I've said it before, knock the stuffing out of you.
Yeah, well,
you're gonna feel deflated, really.
Yeah, well, you feel like you're down already.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully, I mean, it's a chance. You know, if everything goes away, it's another chance to put 3 or 4 past them.
Yeah. Your score prediction? I always
you know
let
what?
you go first on Arsenal games, so.
I'm just going to say 2-0. I'm not going to say anything special.
I'll go 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, what did I say for Sheffield United? I think I got it right, actually. I think I said 3-0.
So this is another game that you can't really speak about too much because it should be a foregone conclusion. Although Burnley did win there last year. Manchester United versus Burnley at Old Trafford. I think Manchester United have got second wrapped up, really, haven't they?
Do you know what? I think because they've got a game in hand on City, haven't they? I think if they win, is it down to 8 points?
Yeah.
I know it probably does seem all too little, too late.
City not playing
this
week.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. I mean, I'd hate to admit it, but I am sort of thinking, could United nick it at the last minute? I mean, the thing is.
Last week was a freak. Do you really think Man City are going to drop many more points?
The only thing is, I only watched the highlights of the City game from last night, but I watched them the week before and I thought they looked a bit shaky. And then they went and lost to Leeds, who were down to 10 men, which probably a freak result. They went 1-0 down to Dortmund last night. Obviously turned it around. Yeah, they'll probably be on the high of that. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think
you're not writing Man United off. Is what
I just think, you know, that's probably going to give them hope, and I mean, who knows? It's the Premier League.
And then Burnley, well, that result last week has really thrown a spanner in the works because they've been dropped right back into it.
Yeah. Oh God, it's.
And Fulham will be looking at Burnley as another team they can catch now.
Yeah. it's a tough one. This.
But I can't see
I think
United. I'm gonna go 4-0 United.
4-0. Do you know what? I'm not backing Burnley to win. I'm not giving. I think I'm going to score though. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm not going to quite go with the 4-0.
And then final Premier League game of the week before we move on to the FA Cup was a fantastic game on the first day of the season. Leeds versus Liverpool.
Oh yeah. Watched that down it. We watched that in the NBF room.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be another high scoring game out there. I think Leeds are going to go for it. I think Liverpool are going to high press them. It'll be quite an interesting tactical game like the last one. And do you know what? I'm going to go 3-2 to Leeds.
See, I'm going to agree with you on high scoring because you see Liverpool's defence at the moment. I mean, any team would fancy it, and especially Leeds, the way they play. They go for any team, and I mean they showed it on the season when they had Van Dijk playing. Yeah. I mean, was it 4-3, wasn't it? So they've got the goals there, just off the back of beating Man City.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for a win. Do you know what? I'm going to. I don't know if to go a ridiculous scoreline and just. Do you know what? It's going to end up being the most boring 0-0. But I don't think I've ever predicted a scoreline this sort of. I'm going to go 4-4.
4-4.
You've got to do it at some point.
Leeds 4, Liverpool 4. Right.
I just want to get one out there.
If that happens, because it's so, I will buy you a crate of beer of your choice.
Right. We'll shake on that.
Right.
4-4.
Have we got any questions? It's an hour just before we kick off. I've just got to check the COV team before.
Well, I'll check the questions while. One sec. So you've gone 3-2 Leeds, haven't you?
Yes.
Right. So we've got. Oh God, we've got quite a few. Let me just have a look. Where do you think Haaland will eventually go to?
Man City.
He's got the ties at Man City, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's either Man City or Real Madrid. The thing is, I think if Odegaard goes back to Real Madrid, he probably is looking like he will. He said he wants to play with him, so I think he might. It's either Real Madrid or Man City.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Apparently, Rory and Bain have had a lemonade at the pub.
Lemonade.
Yeah. So
that's not good.
Here we go. We got this one the other week actually. If you could sign one player from the bottom half of the Prem, who would it be if you were a top 4 club?
St Maximin.
You said St Maximin, didn't we? Yeah. Or
anyone else?
I said Tarkowski the other week, didn't I? I'm trying to think who else there is. Sam Johnston.
Bottom half
Sam
team.
Maybe. Well, actually,
Villa aren't in the bottom half.
It depends what you sort of class as top 4.
Matthias Pereira, how about that?
Oh, Pereira, yeah. Because the thing is, top 4 this season.
Yeah.
United, City, West Ham, and Leicester. So, I think to be honest, West Ham and Leicester.
Does it specifically say bottom half team?
Bottom half.
Because Villa are in the bottom half technically, so you could say Grealish.
Yeah.
Ruben Neves. There's a lot.
Made a damn try last season. I'll probably not this season. Callum Wilson maybe.
Yeah, if you were looking for a goal scorer, Matthias Pereira recently, like I said. But no, if I was to pick one of the current bottom half, I'd probably say Grealish. But that's it's kind of a weird one because Villa haven't been a bottom half team most of the season. But
I think Bings and Konsa as well. If you're looking for a defender, either
Konsa.
Yeah, I think they're both good defenders.
Is that it for questions?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Right, so let's dip into the FA Cup. First up, Man City versus Chelsea. Good game this is going to be, I think. And like I said earlier, this may be a potential Champions League final in a few weeks as well.
Yeah. So, it's another one of those ones. I don't know which way to call it.
City in the FA Cup a lot. Ridiculous.
Well, I think they've got the chance to win it all.
Yeah.
That's probably a bit of more incentive. I mean, they'll want to beat United's treble winning team, be the first team to win the quadruple. So, to be honest with you, I think Chelsea, the way they've been playing, they know how to get a result under Tuchel. And he'll be looking to. I mean, the thing is with Chelsea, if you don't get silverware in the first 2 years, you're out. So Tuchel's probably feeling a bit of pressure. Yeah.
Only at Chelsea could have managed to feel pressure. I mean, being in the job and lost one game. That's mad. But I do get what you're saying.
Yeah, he genuinely probably is feeling a bit of pressure, and he feels like it is a must win. Because it is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I've said, City not looking probably the best that they've been playing this year, the past couple of weeks. Whether it's just a fluke, well, we'll see. It's a big game for them to turn it around, really.
Are we giving score predictions in this one?
Yeah, I mean, do you know, I think it's going to go to extra time. But, you know, City in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, last year, it happened. I think it's going to go to extra time.
Okay.
Do you know what? I'm going to put a super prediction on this one. It's going to be 1-1. I think Chelsea are going to equalise on the hour mark. City go in at half-time, 1-0 up. Chelsea equalise 87th minute. Pulisic, if he plays.
Right.
Pulisic. Extra time. Jesus is going to come off the bench just before extra time. He's going to score at 119th minute.
Are you going to put us down on this?
I am.
Right, okay.
Only at 50p, but...
So your prediction to cut the slack is 2-1 City?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll go... do you know what? I'm going to go, like the League Cup final a few years ago, I'm going to go City on penalties. So my score prediction is 1-1.
And then City on penalties.
Yeah. Right, and then a few weeks ago you'd have probably made this a shoo-in for Leicester against Southampton, but they seem to be going through a bit of a rough patch.
Well, I mean, I think both. Well, Southampton going through a mega rough patch, really.
And then Leicester have obviously had their what's the word? Tribulations, should we say, with a couple of members of their squad off gallivanting.
Yeah.
During COVID, and last week, Brendan Rodgers, he had a face like thunder when he was speaking to Sky, really, didn't he? And I'm not saying that Leicester, the wheels have come off, but is there a danger that the season, on the back of this, might kind of implode?
Well, yeah, they're probably looking, you know, West Ham, Chelsea, even Liverpool, all up behind them for Champions League spaces, which, I mean, given 3 months ago, should have been really theirs for taking.
Yeah.
And they've got to look at that Southampton side though and think they're there for, because I mean, was it 3-0 against West Brom?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's all been since that 9-0. And I mean, they're probably genuinely thinking, you know, they've been 9-0'd off Leicester before. I think the main thing, without sounding daft, is for them to stick with 11 men on the pitch. They've done it before, they know what happened, but I think it is Leicester's there for taking that.
I think it'll be 1-0 Leicester.
I think I'm going 3-1. I just think that although Leicester have been in a poor run of form, Iheanacho has probably been a bit of a bright spark in there, and I think he's going to continue his good form and 3-1.
Yeah, I think that's we're going for a City Leicester final.
We are, yeah. Which
I'll have to dig out a Manchester City shirt for that somewhere.
City versus City. I think Man City would do it final, but I mean, they beat them already this season. Yeah. So who knows? Let's
dip to the Championship. I think we don't need to speak like this very much because we've been waxing lyrical about them for the last few weeks.
What we're on about.
But Norwich City will be promoted if they win against Bournemouth on Saturday. Fully deserved, and well, yeah, they look like they can hit 100 points as well. So yeah, I don't think anyone can complain with Norwich going up, but not necessarily an easy game the way Bournemouth have been playing recently.
No, I mean, like we said last week as well, probably picking up form at the right time in time for the playoffs. And could it be the 3 teams that went down?
Do you know what? If someone wants to win an NBF goodie bag, if you can tell us when the last time the 3 relegated sides went back up, if it ever has happened before, I'll buy you a pint next time. So there we go.
Even if we know it.
Yeah, which we don't, because I don't have a clue. If it has happened before,
I don't want to Google it. Yeah, but I can't think of a time.
No.
It must have been. It is quite because usually I have one team that just implodes and is on the brink of relegation.
Or you have one team that comes down as they're in complete turmoil.
And they just
like
go straight back down.
For example, or possibly Sheffield United next season.
Yeah, Portsmouth,
Wolves when they come down and go straight down into League One. But yeah, if it ever has happened before and someone does know, please do let us know. But yeah, I don't think you can complain at that. I think Bournemouth.
I think the way they held on to the play. I think. Do you know what?
It is a good team, but I mean, I'm not being funny. Last week we played Bournemouth on Easter Monday.
Yeah, it was
Easter Monday, yeah. And I'm not being funny there. Was it Easter Monday? No, we weren't. It was last Saturday. That wasn't Easter
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
last Saturday.
Yeah.
It was Grand National Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny. They had Jack Wilshere starting.
Yeah.
They had David Brooks.
Well, this is, I think in normal time, like if there was no COVID,
Yeah.
they'd have been picked off, but I don't think clubs could have, like Buendia would never be at Norwich if teams could afford him. But
Solanke, he played, Lerma, and I didn't even mention Dan Juma, he was brilliant.
well, yeah.
But like I say, yeah, Bournemouth, they might sit for the playoffs. I think they're starting to find form. And well, if you'd have predicted over a year ago that Jonathan Woodgate could be leading the team to the Premier League, I don't think many would have believed you.
And same with Barnsley. It was where they've gone. So no, it's sort of an exciting thing. You know who Barnsley got this weekend?
They've got us on Sunday.
Oh, of course, yeah. So I mean, with the probably not. Do you know what? If they'll be hoping. Barnsley fans probably want you to win tonight.
Yeah.
Because then it's a bit less pressure on them.
Yeah.
So I think if you lose tonight, then it's. I mean, I could keep using the term must win, but I mean, and I think it'll be a much tougher game for Barnsley, and they really need to win.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they're 5 points clear of Reading, I think.
Yeah, and Reading play. What have I clicked on here? Reading this week. Trying to find it. They play Cardiff at home, which
not an easy game. And to be honest, the way Reading have fallen.
Yeah.
Thing is though, I think what's it looking like? I think Brentford got game in hand on Swansea, so it's looking like Barnsley Brentford if it stays the way it is.
And Swansea Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But no. Right, and then we're going to talk about the bottom two. We've spoke about the third place kind of game tonight.
Yeah.
But it looks like Sheffield Wednesday and Wickham are
done.
Going to go down. Wednesday would go 10 points behind if we were to win tonight.
With 4 games.
Sorry, 10 points behind us, 8 points behind Derby would drop to 20 if we were to win.
Yeah, what's that? How many games? 4?
Wednesday have 5 games left.
5 after, yeah. Yeah, it's...
And then Wickham, if we were to win tonight, would go 10 points behind. But even if we lose, Wickham would still be 9 points clear.
I think the thing is, with Wickham, they were never going to...
No, but Sheffield Wednesday, I mean,
even with the points deduction, they'd still be in the bottom 3.
But
without the points deduction.
Yeah, but Sheffield Wednesday, that's a big club to drop into the... I know we speak about, you know, likes of your Sunderlands, your Portsmouths, to go down that low. I mean, I'd argue that Sheffield Wednesday are as big as all of them.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, they've won...
They went down the other year, didn't they?
2011 was it?
Yeah, they come back up.
Yeah.
Under Dave Jones, and well, they'd have thought they'd never gone down to League One again, but they're staring it right down the face, and the way that football club's ran.
They need a new change of ownership.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, I think I saw yesterday they've released their season ticket prices,
and
they've kept them the same.
That's I mean, they've always been expensive. I mean, like I say,
ever since Chansiri took over, they've been expensive.
Yeah, well, what
42 quid to walk up on the day is madness for League One football as well. Who's gonna, other than the diehards, who's gonna pay that?
I mean, even some of the die probably puts them off. Yeah. Really, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I mean, the thing is, whether they release a new a new price if they do go down.
Yeah.
Well, just before we move on, I think we've got another. No, nothing really. Right. So move on.
Dip into League One. We're going on about Sunderland's unbelievable run. Well, they've kind of thrown it away a little bit because they've gone and lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, and Wigan out of sort of all teams to do it, and is it twice this season they've beat them?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, they beat them at Stadium Milan. They beat them at the DW on Tuesday.
God, I know. But to say that Wigan have been to take 6 points off Sunderland, especially because Sunderland haven't lost many.
No.
But I think really it's now Peterborough's and Hull's to lose.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
that was their game in hand, wasn't it, Sunderland, the other night?
Yeah, and I mean, they probably would have taken the point against Peterborough on paper would have wanted the win more. I think Sunderland suited the draw better, and really missed a chance. I mean, what a chance against Wigan really, and they went 1-0 up as well, which is even more rubbing salt in the wounds. But I think it's got the likening to be a good. I think League 1 and 2, even Championship and League One playoffs are looking quite good. I mean, I like when they go down to the wire. I mean, I know Barnsley 5 points.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Barnsley at the end of the day, they're not. Are they going to sustain it? Is the pressure going to be too much? Same in League One. There's so many teams that could sneak in there, so it's got a good running to the playoffs.
But Sunderland, I don't think they'd be fancying the playoffs with their previous record.
No. And I mean, who's in there at the minute? Portsmouth, Lincoln, and Blackpool.
Yeah. Neil Critchley's Blackpool.
God, I'd like we've been saying, I'd make them favourites for the way they've been going, but it's
good playoff team as well, Blackpool.
Yeah, well,
I think they're the only team to have gone up through the playoffs at the Championship, League One and League Two. I could be wrong there.
Well, I remember the one against Forest very well. Yeah. So, but now, bottom it really at the last minute. I mean, if they, like we said, they don't go up, how are they going to keep sustaining in League One? I will never know.
And then. Two teams that have been on a bit of a mini revival recently, a team we just spoke about, Wigan and Wimbledon. And I want to talk about Wimbledon because they played Accrington Stanley last Saturday. They went 1-0 down, ended up winning 5-1. Yeah. This is Accrington Stanley who've been on the periphery of the playoffs for most of the season.
I think they've dropped now, haven't they? Yeah.
But they're a better
been
team.
Up there. Oh, 100%, yeah.
And then they beat Ipswich 3-0 the other night.
And who's been scoring the goals?
Let's have a look.
Because the thing is, when they were
they've been scoring goals.
Bottom and they've just come out there. But I thought Swindon, they went on a revival run.
Yeah.
And obviously now they're looking at points deduction, not looking good for them. I think you can call them all but down. Rochdale are all but down.
Rochdale's.
I hate to admit it, Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
Looking
bleak.
Yeah, and I mean Northampton as well. But no, it's just, like you say, Wimbledon and Wigan really hitting form at the right time.
And just one last thing in League One, it does look like, very sadly, there is going to be no fairy tale ending to the original friend of the show's career. Doncaster, they've lost 5 in a row.
Oh.
They're going to drop into the bottom half.
And do you know what? Coppo was picking up form. He's been scoring. He's only 3 off 100 now.
I know.
But I'm actually gutted for him.
I am gutted
because I'd become an adopted Donny fan since December, and no, I mean I know Burton have picked up the form, but I mean if you want to get promoted, they're the sort of teams you've got to be. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the way Burton are going, they'll probably finish above them.
They lost to Bristol Rovers as well.
Yeah.
So one last thing we're going to talk about before we skedaddle. Is the title race in League 2. I'd go as far as saying the top 3 are pretty much up and the rest just want to solidify in the playoffs. But I actually fancy Bolton, who are third, to win the title in League 1. League 2, sorry.
I think the way they've been absolutely unbeatable. And to be honest, they've been going 1-0 down in games quite a lot and coming back and that's sort of the sign of a good team. I mean, everyone knows that on paper they're too big for that league.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that where were they were sat in 14th.
Just think, if it weren't for the start of the season Bolton had, they'd have probably waltzed this league.
Yeah. Oh, and they'd have been 15 points clear if they've been playing since the first 15 or so games didn't count. They'd be blitzing it, like you say. But
they went to hell and back to get him in the summer from Barrow.
And he got a lot of stick.
I think a lot of clubs might have sacked him.
Yeah.
But this, they thought he was their man.
They
backed him, and they backed him, and it's paid dividends, and it's quite nice and refreshing to see that. And then one final thing we're going to talk about: Forest Green sacked manager Mark Cooper last week. They're just sat in the playoffs, but they've lost 4 in a row.
Yeah,
I think it sounds harsh on paper, but if you want to stay in the playoffs and you're 2 points clear. And you've lost 4 in a row. It doesn't bode well.
I think the thing is they've been up there last couple of seasons, and I think he's not really. I mean, he got. I'm sure he's the one who got him up from the conference. He was. Yeah, he's been there for years. His son was playing. Is it Jake Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah. But thing is, they bottled the playoffs last season. I don't think they even made the playoffs last season.
No, they
didn't. And the season.
They lost to Tranmere, didn't they?
The season before was the same. But
they lost to Tranmere. Do you not remember Mike Dean giving it stacks?
Oh, of course, yeah. I do remember that, yeah. I'm thinking season before, that was their first season in the League 2. But I do remember their chairman saying when they got promoted from the conference,
it'd be easy to get into the
He
league.
said they'd built there in 2 seasons. And what is it now? Is this their 4th? Was it their
Yeah, it is
4th?
Yeah.
Not as easy as he made out.
No.
And
they've always been, obviously Forest Green, it's well publicised that they've always been a club who do things differently.
And
And
I
apparently, the owner turned around and said he'd be quite happy and he'd actually seek to appoint a woman as Forest Green's manager.
He does seem like the sort of man who's just open to anything, and I mean, fair play to him.
Do you know what? The way that they've done things at Forest Green has been different. It's worked for him.
I tell him not to approach the Chelsea manager because she'll be offended. She'll be offended that she's not getting the Chelsea men's job.
Yeah. But right, I think we got any other questions before we wrap up?
Let's have a look. Where is the bowl? Controversial.
We can't talk about the bowl.
No, I think that is
us done.
Yeah, that's all the questions. So, what time are we on? Well, we're on
21 minutes past.
I mean, before we go, if anyone is still listening, I just wanted to ask you what people preferred. You know, the Zoom last week, this sort of thing. I mean, the thing is now we can get microphones for it.
Yeah.
So I need to sort them out. But I don't know if everyone let us know if you preferred the Zoom or this. So it was a lot easier to sort of answer the questions, wasn't it, on the Zoom? But the only thing is our internet good enough for 2 of us? But now I mean, we've got some exciting things coming up. A couple of interviews. It's just been a nightmare with work, uni work.
I mean, unfortunately,
drinking.
we were meant to have a result. We were meant to have an interview this week, but a certain team's result, we're kind of guessing.
Yeah, is impacted that, and it's been postponed a week. So we've got to hope that they turn up at the weekend.
Yeah.
Won't name names, but we will get the who am I up.
Yeah.
So, and big news, about 20 minutes before the show, we got another reply, and it looks like we've got another interview on the cards. So
we've got a few lined up. We haven't forgot about them.
So
there we go. I think all is left for me to say is in about 40 minutes time, play up Sky Blues. You won't hear from me for a while if we do lose. I'll be taking a bit of a social media detox. And I'm pretty sure you'll probably be the same. I think football will be the last thing we'll talk about if it goes wrong tonight.
Well, trust me, it'll be a lot more expensive tomorrow if we lose. So
Right, take care. Thanks for watching. And see you next week.
Should be Friday as well.
Should be back for Friday, yeah.